the Zoom or they missed it, please tell them just go to our website, and it is linked on the Danielson main website, so they can get it there. And I've been sending it out in emails as well. So we'll make sure that we archive this and we post it. Mr. Kohler, if you have recording abilities, if you could record it. I just tried.
And we are recording currently, yes.
Okay, great.
Oh,
all right. Welcome to the Danielson Bearcat Band. We are so excited to have you guys. And the cool thing about this experience is specifically, I know for this session, most of you are incoming sixth grade band parents, and your kids are going to be the first ones that go through all 3 years of being a Bearcat band member. So that's super cool, super exciting for us. And it's really going to it's going to kind of set the tone for our whole entire program. So we're thrilled to have you, and I'm going to be reading, I have some notes, so don't judge me. I'm going to read them, so I'm ready to go. We're thrilled to have you. Our mission in the Danielson Band is artistry, discipline, and excellence. To have an awesome band program, you have to have all 3 of those components, and they all help each other out. We want to create an environment where students can learn and be a part of an organization bigger than themselves. And it starts at Danielson, and it goes all the way through Glenn. So I'll tell you, I had for my current program, my band banquet on Friday night, and I was thinking about you guys because I thought, I get to see the end point at this moment. I get to see when they're juniors and seniors and they've been through marching seasons, and we were watching their pictures, and we were watching pictures from them being in middle school, and everyone was crying and throwing babies, you know, and we get to see you from the very beginning of that. So that's the exciting part of the journey that you're about to be on. What we hope to develop in your kiddos is leadership as well as teamwork, because both of those things are important in any organization. And then from there, we think that they're going to go change the world. So that's our big goal. Now, to introduce ourselves, I will tell you, I know it's daunting coming to a band program, especially when you know that there's 3 brand new people. But these 3 ladies leading the Danielson Band we have almost 30 years experience between the 3 of us, and we've all 3 led programs. So it's a pretty unique setup. We know each other really well, and I'm really excited for you to be a part of that dynamic too. Myself, I'm Andrea Gonzalez. I'm the head band director, and I grew up in Kansas. I was a clarinet player all the way till I was a sophomore in high school. And yeah, we have some clarinet players are in the house. I love it. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, the bassoon player quit. And I said to my band director, throw me in, coach. I love the bassoon. And so I took up the bassoon and stuck with it all the way to the end of high school. And then I got a bassoon scholarship to go to UT, the University of Texas. So that got me out of Kansas. And so I came to UT, and I was in the UT Wind Ensemble for 4 years. I did the Napa Valley tour to Premier Circus Maximus, as well as the Europe toured Premier Circus Maximus. Lauren, Miss Piccioni did the same thing. And Miss Klingenberg was also in the UT Wind Ensemble, so you have 3 Longhorns. But after that, I graduated, and I got my first teaching job in Round Rock ISD. For 3 years, I taught middle school at C.D. Folks Middle School. And then after that, I went to Anderson, got an assistant job at Anderson, and I've been at Anderson for 9 years now. And 5 of those 9 years, I've been the head band director. So I have a little 2-year-old. She's almost 2. She thinks she's like 10 right now, but she's almost 2. And so I'm excited to come to Danielson and start this new chapter that is hopefully my forever home, and build a band program along with my family and all of you guys. So that's my story. And I'm going to hand it off to Lauren Piccioni to introduce herself to y'all.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren Piccioni. I'm so excited to be joining you guys at Danielson next year. I am actually from Round Rock. My dad is also a band director in Lorena, and he's been teaching for over 40 years. So I started playing piano when I was really young, and then he taught me French horn in the 4th grade. And from there, I went to Hopewell Middle School, which the first year that it was open. So like you guys will be doing, I went as a 6th grader and got to experience the first 3 years that that school was open. And then I went to Stony Point High School, same thing, the first time it was open, and went through that and graduated from there also. I went to UT, I was a music education major, and I also got a French horn performer certificate while I was there on scholarship. Had so much fun traveling the world, getting to go to bowl games. I marched in the Rose Bowl the year before UT won the national championship, so 1 year short of that national championship, but a lot of fun to do that. And then we went to Europe, just same as Miss Gonzalez, traveled the world and California and Washington, D.C. So music is cool because it takes you lots of different places. I went to University of Maryland after I graduated from UT and got my master's in French horn performance. Came back to Texas and got married to my husband. He is a piano and trumpet player, private lesson teacher extraordinaire. And we have 2 kids. We have a 4-year-old daughter as well. She thinks she's 14, and a 6-year-old son. And we are actually in the process of moving to Leander from South Austin. So we're picking everything up, and we're going to join the Danielson community and be a part over there also. So we're really excited to do that. And be with you guys. This is my 10th year teaching. I taught at Covington Fine Arts Academy for 7 years as an assistant band director. And then these past 3 years, I've been at Bedichek Middle School as the director of bands. And y'all, I'm coming to Danielson next year. I can't wait. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm going to pass it off to Miss Klingenberg next.
All right, hello everybody. From a super small town in Summerville, Georgia. It's the top, like, northwest corner. I was talking a little bit earlier to someone. It's one of those towns where you go home and everybody knows your name, like super rural, super country. When my car would drive through, when I would be visiting from my undergrad, everybody knew I was coming home before I got home. Sometimes that's kind of funny. It wasn't uncommon for like one of the big John Deere tractors to like be in front of you on the way somewhere, or somebody to call my dad and say, hey, one of your cows are out. So like super farm country girl was my upbringing, but started playing saxophone, did that all the way through middle school and high school. And every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., the thing I looked forward to the most was going to my private lesson at one of the local universities. And so my teacher and I formed a really awesome relationship, and he's what, jump-started all of the music things that I was able to do between he and my high school band director. But like Lauren and these guys, got a scholarship to go to college. Went to a really small college across state lines in Alabama called Jacksonville State University, where I got my undergrad in music education. And one of my teachers, my saxophone teacher, he's from Waco and went to UT for both of his degrees. So he's where I started that itch of like, oh, I want to go to Texas. I've heard all of these awesome things about the area and about the band programs and just music in general. It's like Austin and Central Texas is the place to be. So I graduated from there and actually started teaching about an hour west of Atlanta in a city, Carrollton, Georgia. Did that for a middle school band program for 2 years as the only director, and then was ready to come to Texas. I was ready for something a little bit more, auditioned, and made it into the Butler School of Music at UT and got to study with Harvey Patel, who's like super famous saxophone professor. He's awesome. And got to do that. And like these ladies, was with Jerry Junkin in the wind ensemble, and got to play in the jazz ensemble, and just do all of these awesome things that I never would have got to do otherwise, which is really cool. While I was at UT, I actually started teaching private lessons in South Austin and in Leander. So I've been teaching private lessons in Leander for 6 years until I started being a band director. And until then, honestly, I didn't know I wanted to be a band director again. I came to UT to get my master's in performance. Like I was like, I'm going to be a professional player, and that's all I want to do. And then, being back in the classroom with the students, just like super fell in love with the whole aspect of teaching and seeing the excitement, especially in middle school. Like there's nothing like it. And it's my favorite place to be, is teaching middle school band. But I did that for 6 years. And then one of the schools where I was teaching lessons had an opening for a band director position. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you should totally do this. So I applied for the job and got the job at Canyon Ridge Middle School. And so I taught there for 4 years as one of their band directors. And then a job opened up in Georgetown for a head director position that I ended up taking. My in-laws moved here and they moved to Georgetown when my husband and I had our first child. And so since there were caretakers at the time, we went ahead and moved to Georgetown. And I've been the head band director at Tippett Middle School this past year. And then you guys, like, I love Leander ISD so much. When this popped up and this opportunity happened to come and just like open this new school, after meeting Mr. Caller and Miss Piccioni and Miss Gonzalez, I knew that's where I wanted to be and where I wanted to come back to was Leander. And I'm really excited because I know that this will be the school that my son's going to go to. And that's really exciting for me to think about and for us to plan for. So we're really excited to get to know all of you guys and just looking forward to hopefully meeting you in person very soon.
All right, so now you know a little bit more about us. I'm going to talk to you about what we have on the horizon and what you have to look forward to for the end of this year, through the summer, and then next year. All right. Now, I will say that at this point in time, we're at a little bit of a different spot than we normally would have been. Normally, we would have already tested you for instruments. We would have gotten you locked into a certain thing. We're on pause. We just hit the pause button for a second, but that's totally okay. Like I said, we're going to keep you engaged. We're going to keep working with your kids, and we're just going to take it as it goes. We've all got a plan set. We are all planners. And so we have these little things that we're going to start putting into place to help you guys know what instrument that you might be choosing, what's going to come your way. If you did the JOT form that I'd put on the website and that I distributed to everybody, you noticed that there were probably some odd questions in your mind in there, like, do you keep your room clean? Do you like to play with big groups or small groups? And that was all in preparation for us trying to figure out what that best instrument fit is for your student. So the wheels are already turning in our head. And just know that we've got a process for all that, and we will execute that process as we can throughout all of this. The biggest thing about band is really making sure you're connected for communication. And that's a little challenging up until this point because you're coming to us for the first time. So what we're going to do, we've put in the chat, if you will in the chat see the form for CHARMS. CHARMS is our database that we use for collecting all student data, and it's also what we're going to email out through starting on Friday. So by you populating that form on CHARMS, it's going to give us all that information, and we'll be able to email out through select groups just 6th graders, or just 7th and 8th graders, or just kids coming from a certain elementary. So that's what we're working on all this week. Every single Friday of a school week, I email out a band blast, and that's just our band newsletter. So your first band blast, I've already kind of sent 2 to put things on your radar, but your first official CHARMS band blast is going to come this Friday. If you don't get one, it means that you're not in CHARMS with us, and you need to shoot me an email so that I can make sure you are in our CHARMS database, and if you are, why you're not getting an email. So just put that on your radar. Friday, you should get a band blast from the Danielson Band. The next thing is the band calendar. We live our life by the band calendar, and it's already posted on the website on one of the tabs. There's not a whole lot of things on it right now, but as we get things solidified, I'm working with athletics right now and the other fine arts. As we get things solidified in our calendar, I'm going to post them on that calendar so that you can know what's coming your way. I would say check back in probably midsummer, and you'll be good to go with what is going to happen in the fall. The other thing is, if you have a conflict with something on the band calendar in general, the key is communication. You've got to let us know as soon as possible, because a lot of those events are events that affect every single kid in the band program. Everyone's got to participate. And so if it's a concert that only happens once, we all need to do the best that we can to make sure we're at that one beginner concert in December. We can't have everybody else come back for us. So make sure you put all those concerts on your radar for the year. so that you can make sure that you're there and you don't miss those magical moments of first sounds on the instrument. We all know that that's pretty cool. Private lessons. Private lessons are such an important thing in our band program, and Ms. Klingenberg is who is going to run the private lesson program. So I am going to pass it off to her so that she can tell you a little bit more about it.
All right, private lessons. So they're exactly what they sound like. They're an individual lesson with your student and then a professional master teacher on their instrument. And they're really a special part. Like, we have our 3 band directors as our like main band team, but they're that additional really awesome layer that just makes everything run so much more smoothly. You know, we went to college and took classes and do really well on teaching all of the instruments. But these guys started as 6th graders on their instrument and then have like every day since then just gotten better and better at it and have devoted their life to all aspects of that particular instrument. And so we gain a lot of knowledge through working with them, and so do the students too. So they're a really special part of the band programs in Leander. But who do we hire? We're really lucky to live where we live in Central Texas, where we do have awesome teachers and performers in the area. And so the people that we hire are adjunct professors at colleges. They're students who finish their master's degrees or are getting their DMAs at UT on their instrument. There are people who have taught private lessons in the district for, you know, up to 10, 12, 15 years, some of them. So there are people who have really, they've made their life their instrument and passing on the knowledge of that to other people. What's really good to know is that they go through the same process that we do getting our jobs. So we put out information, hey, we're looking for these lesson teachers for these instruments. They come back to us with resumes, and we get to ask them questions and check on some of their references for some other teachers that we know and trust for their programs too. But then they go through that same process through HR that the teachers do with the background checks and just making sure you have someone that really belongs in the school, so everybody is safe and in an environment that's conducive to learning and all of that good stuff. They occur once a week, so once you're enrolled in those, weekly you'll have a lesson, and it can be before school or during your class period or after school. And directors are there also during all of those times as well while the teachers are there. The cost, there is a cost. There's a set amount for Leander ISD for how much each lesson charges. I would say the average cost is going to be around $21 for a half hour, but that also all depends on the length. So is it 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? And then, you know, is your teacher a doctor on their instrument? Is this their first year teaching? Is this in kind of the year's experience? But that's generally the average cost is $21. If all of a sudden that makes you go, oh my gosh, $21 every week, which is about $84 a month, for lessons, that is totally okay. It's awesome. I don't know any other district that does this, but Leander has what's called a grant program for private lessons, and that's the only thing that's funded through that. It's not open at this time because the Fine Arts Secretary is closing this current year, but as soon as that opens, then I can communicate with you if that's something you're interested in, is some sort of grant assistance for private lessons. Email me directly, and I put our Leander email address in the chat, the danielsonband@leanderisd.org. But if you'll email me, I can get with you and work with you on how that process goes. And it's just a quick online form you shoot to the district, and then they'll email both of us back for you to accept. Okay, how do I enroll? Private lessons are awesome. We want everybody to take them that can take them for all of the reasons that we've talked about. On our Danielson website, and it's not currently on there, this will go out in a blast once all the lesson information is set, everybody's ready to go, and everything is ready for you. But you'll enroll on our website under private lessons, and it'll say private lesson enrollment form. And it looks very similar to the student registration form for charms that you're doing or will do based on our chat tonight. But all that information will come to me, and then what I'll do is I will match you up with one of the private lesson teachers, and then at that time, they'll reach out to you about scheduling your first lesson, which is really exciting when you get to have your first lesson. You get to either leave class or come early, and you get to meet this cool person, and y'all, they're really cool. If you've seen any players downtown playing, like, we have some cool players in Austin. And then this is 6th grade, so you don't need to know that. But I think that's about it. Did I miss anything for private lessons? Ladies, no? I think I hit it all. Oh, a big thing. I do have one more thing. Private lessons are for literally anyone. So a lot of people think it's like a tutoring situation, like, oh, I don't need private lessons because I can already do this, or I can already read music, or I'm doing fine in class. But private lessons really take each individual person where they are and just like rocket them to the next level. So maybe your student is struggling to learn something, then that is really, really helpful in that situation, just to zone in on that one issue and then fix it and then move on to all these other things. Or maybe they do need more of a challenge, and that private lesson person can check off some more of those detailed boxes and just continue to push them. So it's a really awesome, unique opportunity where each student gets exactly what they need. And we do a lot of that in class. We do have the time to work with each person, but if we're talking about 20 to 30 people in some of the larger classes, there just physically isn't the time during each class for us to spend all of the time we want to with each person. Unfortunately, we would love to do that. But yeah, they're great. So if you have any other questions in the chat, you can put those on there, but you can also email me at our Leander email.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's very good. I mean, our stance on private lessons is, if you can't get private lessons, please reach out to us so that we can help you with that, because they're truly a magical experience. Those kids bond with those private lesson teachers in a way that is very, very special. So going on, we're going to talk to you a little bit more about some 6th grade specific stuff and what we look for when we're helping you and your student pick an instrument. What things that you need to have on your radar, what kind of timelines you need to have on your radar, and what things need to be on the forefront of your mind. So to talk a little bit about that, I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. Piccioni.
Hi guys. So just to kind of talk, I know normally right now, like Ms. Gonzalez said before, we would be coming to your elementary schools or having an instrument selection process, which is so much fun because that's where you get to try all the instruments and go, okay, I like this. I don't like doing this, so I don't want to play that one. And you kind of whittle it down until you find the instrument that you're most excited about. So a couple of the things that we're looking for when we're doing the process, so we're taking a look at your face shape, at your lips and teeth, and if you're getting braces, that's totally cool because braces happen in middle school and we're cool with that. But we kind of take a look at your face shape to kind of go, okay, like, can you buzz your lips? Can you blow air through your lips and bring your lips together and make this sound? Can you blow air in this way? Can you direct your air? Do you have natural abilities and rhythmic tendencies? So we kind of look at a lot of things that way. We also ask kids to sing back and forth with us to check and see how their pitch matching abilities are, to see if a specific instrument would work better for them. You know, sometimes kids want to play tuba and they're not the tallest kid in their class, and that's a-okay because there's lots of ways for us to figure through all these things. So we just kind of take a look at all of those in the beginning to try to help you find what would naturally fit best with you. We also want, and I see some of you students here, so we also want you guys to know that we want you to pick something that you're going to want to play. You're going to want to take home and practice every day and come early to the band hall and practice, because this is your instrument. We're just helping you find what would fit best for you. So that is something we take into consideration too, if it's going to work well for you, and we kind of go that route. One thing for everybody to know right now is nobody has picked anything. So nowhere have we picked anything, and we don't need to buy any sort of materials or instruments until we've gone through this process together. The music stores aren't even open right now for us to kind of go, or for you to go and purchase those items. So if you'll just hold on and wait until we're able to face-to-face do this process with you, we would appreciate that, because this is a special thing. As band directors, we love getting that like Yes, this is the one I picked. It's kind of like say yes to the dress, only it's like say yes to the instrument. We also have a special process where we let the kids know what instrument they actually got. And I don't want to spoil anything. So it is a special thing that we want to be able to experience and let your kids experience, because hopefully this is the instrument they pick, like Miss Gonzalez said, and it carries them through Glenn, through Danielson, through Glenn. And you don't have to be a music major to play in marching band or ensembles in college. So sometimes, and even as adults, sometimes people find those community groups that they want to stick with. So we want to make sure that it's the magical first finding out of that instrument. Some of the instruments are school owned, and we'll talk through all of that later. So some of the instruments the school will provide to you, the bigger instruments, and some of the smaller personal instruments, we'll have a whole pamphlet and handout that goes home when you find out what instrument you're playing also. So again, all of that will happen later. So that's why we're asking to make sure that you don't quite yet purchase anything there. Be on the lookout, because we do have more engaging Zoom lessons from the three of us that we're putting together even through the end of this year, so we can get those kids hyped up for band at Danielson. So we're really excited, and it's going to be awesome. And if you have any questions, you can put them down there in that chat.
All right. So that's kind of an overview. That's everything you have to look forward to. Like they said, don't jump the gun on picking your instrument, because we want to help you with that. An exciting thing is we're going to get lots of help from the high school. So like percussion classes will actually be taught for the majority of them by Mr. Gall from the high school, who will of course assist as well. And then each one of us takes a segment of the instruments and we teach them instrument specifically. So let's say your child's placed on flute, then your child is in a flute specific class for the duration of the year. We'll maybe combine them to do some advanced band type stuff. We'll combine them to do ensembles, maybe if we have an upcoming concert. But for the most part, the 6th grade year is about learning the ins and outs of that instrument. So it's really, really important. I know everyone goes into the instrument process wanting to play percussion or saxophone, because those are just the coolest. But we want you guys to know that there are other cool instruments, and we want you to be able to experience them all. So don't jump the gun on choosing. In closing, just make sure right now we're a little bit limited in the communication as far as the three of us. We don't have a Leander specific email for us three. So if you have questions for any of us, email that Danielson Band Leander email and we will get it. It will go to the right person. So that's going to be your email communication for the moment. When we do get in individual emails, we'll put them up on the website. That Danielson Band website, which you can access also through the main Danielson website, that's going to be my static spot and my hub for everything. So if you need to figure something out, if you need to figure out how to contact us, if you know I was going to post something and you're wondering where or how you can find it, go to that website. The moving part of it is going to be Friday Band Blasts, and make sure you're getting on our form so we can get you into our database and you will get your Band Blast this Friday. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. And someone was asking about electives. So if you chose band as one of your electives, specifically 1 or 2, you have band for sure. Now, if you want to be in band, you get to be in band. So it's not like you have to make band or you have to be selected for band. Everyone who wants to be in band gets to be in band. And Mr. Kohler can probably tell us any more about if they find out when they have specific band courses, when they get their schedule, probably in fall.
Yes, that's a great question. Thank you, Mrs. Gonzalez. Most, if not all, of our master schedule is still being built. And so as we have students enrolling, we're currently continuing to make sure that we're trying our best to give them the choices that they've asked for. One of the things that we found with the amount of electives that we've offered, we have full electives in every area inside the building. And so we're not ready to roll out, hey, here's your schedule yet, just because we're still plugging everything in and still hiring most of our staff. But if you guys remember back when we visited you, whether that would be Mrs. Burris at your elementary school or whether you came to the school and did the 5th grade tour, we talked about choosing 1 through 9 as far as your electives, knowing that we would try your best to get you your top 4. So if you remember in band, if you do choose 6th grade band, it counts as 2 of your electives the first year, and then your other 2 electives would be hopefully your second and third choices on those choice sheets. And so as soon as we have all that finalized and ready to go, it should be out, but that's typically doesn't come out this point of the year anyway. It's more of a middle of July, early August, where we get our schedules out finally for students.
Yeah. All right. Someone else asked, will a child get the instrument of his or her choice, or is there a limit? It's kind of a combination of both. We do have set limits for a lot of the instruments. We go for a specific ratio just because we can't have the entire band playing saxophone. But I will tell you, in my 12 years of teaching band, and probably these 2 ladies too, it always works out. It 100% of the time always works out once we send those kids through that testing process. So they end up liking what they choose. I mean, if we think that, you know, they want to play a brass instrument but they can't buzz, usually by the time they've gone through playing the brass instruments, they themselves have another instrument that they like better. So that's why that process is so important, is because it solves itself. All of the time the kids are happy with what they ended up with. So hopefully that answers that question. This will be posted. We'll post it on our website, and I think Mr. Kohler is also going to post it on the Facebook. So if you missed a part of it because you were chasing down the family or going and getting dinner ready, don't worry. We'll repost it, and you'll get to see all you missed. Are there any other questions that someone wants to post in the chat for us to get to? All right. Well, we want to thank you guys so much. We're very excited, and we can't wait to meet your kids. We can't wait to see you, and it's going to be real. It's going to be awesome. Let us know if you have any questions.
What's up, Bearcats? All the students, you need to wave at us. I see you in there, Coleman, Niz, Ambrose. There you guys are. Julie, how are you? It's good to see you. Elijah, what's up, buddy? It's great to see all of you guys. We can't wait to see y'all when we come back in August and get this party started. It's going to be amazing. The school is coming around. It's a beautiful building. I know that the 3 band directors are going to do right by your children within our band department, and we cannot wait to serve you. So finish your school year strong, right? Because you guys aren't done with 5th grade yet. You still got to get out of elementary school, take care of business, right? And do all that stuff. Be nice to your moms. That's important, and dads. And then we'll see you guys in August. We cannot wait.